Hey everybody, it is TorontoUnicorn here with some very special virtual guests for you. I'm going to introduce them. Mr. F is now going to be converted into Fez. That is his lifestyle name. Fez, say hello.
Hello, everyone.
And Terry, say hello.
Hi, everybody.
Fez and Terry are married, and they're a married couple that are in the lifestyle, and they have all sorts of experiences to share. And then I'm here with green-haired Amelia. Say hello.
Hi. Hello, everybody.
So, we have brought everybody together to have a fucking chat because last night is fresh on our brains. The smile has still not gone down, which is why I needed to record it today. It just is so fresh, right? So, this was DTF night. I called this DTF Indeed. On the vlog, you can catch that. I'll put a little thumbnail of that on the screen if you want to see the night as it happened. And this is going to be the Storytime video. So this is going to be the YouTube appropriate version. We have to use some censorship and be creative with our wording here, but we can still communicate what we're trying to do in creative ways. DTF. Let's just start in chronological order. But basically, we all have had our own experiences. We all have something to share about the night, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
Terry, you've had your own experience with multiple men, right? Like, let's lay the groundwork, right? Mr. F was now Fez. See, my brain is going to take a minute. You had multiple partners last night, right?
Yes, I did. I had
Right.
quite a few. I had quite
Did
a
you
few
just try to
partners last
count
night.
and
Yeah,
then you
I
just were
tried to
like,
quickly count, but I'm not going to do that.
how about you, Amelia?
I had three.
Three. So this is DTF. DTF is stands for down to fuck. It is sometimes called gangbang night, but it's really a night for women who like multiple men. Doesn't always have to be at the same time. I don't think Amelia's was at the same time. They were back to back.
Yeah.
But Terry's was, two at a time kind of thing. So we all have a different version of what DTF meant to us last night. And so we're going to make this an extended video for mostly my podcast listeners. But this is going to be cut up more into pieces for YouTube. So we'll keep the gems and we'll cut the rest out, just so you guys know. I don't normally come to the club early. I don't get there usually before like 9-ish. And I realized that if I wanted to have a sexual experience like that was available to me with Fez, if I did it at 9, then like while everybody else was doing their fun shit, I was missing it and like they were missing mine. And for me, I was like, well, like there's got to be a better way. So we actually planned to kind of put the sex up front and then like spend the rest of the night with everyone else. Like, and I'm not gonna lie, that helped me focus so much on the rest of the night. And I was all about everyone else after I got multiple orgasms because that's just what it can do to a girl, okay? So it really was well structured in that way. But I show up at 7:30. You guys were there already, Fez and Terry. And very nice outfit, Terry. I remember it was very white and lacy and beautiful, right?
I agree.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not gonna lie, I don't like to like cold call sex. It doesn't feel very natural to be like, all right, so now, like, are you gonna drop your dick out now? Like, it just, I was like, oh, like, where is this naturally gonna flow? Right? So we do a few laps around the club together. We're like, let's do another lap. Like, we had to kind of figure out how how it was gonna change, right? The energy. Right? Can you guys weigh in on that, or is that just in my head?
No, it was pretty slow when we got there. So the energy was a little different than it usually is, or is as the night goes on.
Yeah, there was no one
Yeah.
fucking upstairs, really, right?
No, it was empty.
Yeah. And in terms of like us, like, because you let me fuck your husband, you let a lot of people fuck your husband, right?
Yes.
Well, let's just get that on the table. You're okay with it. You enjoy hearing about it, so the viewers don't feel like I'm abusing you right now, and I'm telling you this, right? You
No,
enjoy
not
it.
at all. Yes.
Okay, good. So as we're like walking through the club, I'm not sure how the sex is gonna start. Then Fez, like we were walking around, how did you think? What was going through your head? Like how are you gonna fuck me? How are you gonna convert trying unicorn standing there to trying unicorn sucking dick? Like how are you supposed to do that in that crowd? I don't know.
Honestly, it is a bit of a conundrum doing that, walking around the club, just seeing all these single men that you don't know if they're going to try and push their way through to you during a scene or anything like that.
Yes.
And yeah, I think it was the right choice to go to the fourth floor and just have our own little scene together.
Yeah, it was the best part of my night because I was able to relax. So I looked around. We walked up to the third floor, and you guys remember it was. And Amelia, you weren't here yet, right? You didn't see me fuck. This was because I came early, right? So there was single men walking around, looking in rooms. There wasn't a lot of entertainment. So I knew that as soon as I started to like suck a dick, that I was going to be the entertainment, right? And I'm not gonna lie, like I'm just not really into that kind of exhibitionism. It just is a little much for me personally. So I was not vibing it, and so I'm kind of glad that Fez did not try to like start sex up there because I don't know if I would have even had an orgasm. I would have been like in my head trying to shield men, like don't look directly in the holes kind of situation, like situation. So, anyways, what I did is I thought, okay, there's a fourth floor. There's this room at Oasis where it's first come, first serve. You have to put a credit card and a driver's license or ID down, and you get it for 2 hours, and then you have to give it up, and then somebody else can have it. So I knew about the room, but again, first come, first serve. But at like 7:38, there wasn't a lot of people there. So I went, I asked, I got the key, and I was like, oh my god, this is life changing. So I come, I dangle the key.
And she came again and again.
Right? So I got excited about this key, and I was like, come, we're gonna go have sex in this special room. And it was funny because Terry and Fez and I had a little bit, in my opinion, I had some awkwardness about, well, what's gonna happen here? Because I'm not just gonna ditch your wife. Like, what is happening here? So, am I fucking you in front of her? Is she expecting to join? Like, we needed to talk it out. And as
Yeah.
swingers, this is natural. You need to sometimes just have the words communicated so that everyone's on the same page, right? You don't want anyone to find out halfway through a scene they're not invited, okay? You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine if that happened to me? Like, I'd be like, mouth open and then, not invited. But yes, so that's not something anyone wants. So I actually did. I approached you, Terry. I had a little bit of a conversation with you. And I said, what can I do to make this better for you? Do you want to hear it? Do you not want to hear about it? Because I fucked a few women's husband with their permission, and they all have a different kink about it. They all have a certain way of why they do it or why they enjoy it. And if I can learn how to stroke that in a natural way, then that's going to be part of how I unicorn, right? I'm a unicorn. So I'm respectful of the dynamic a lot, and that's why for me I'm like, I appreciate the loan for a few minutes upstairs, and then so I wanted to make sure that it was
A few
on
minutes.
good terms.
Did you hear that?
I actually don't know
Just a
how
few minutes.
I was. All I know is I was able to I had the room for at least another hour and a bit when I was 3 orgasms in. I mean, so it didn't take that long to have many orgasms, but. Okay, so now we go up. So Terry's like, no, why don't you two just go? And she realizes that we're going to this private room. And so she's like, you two just go. And so we were like, really? And she's like, yes. And so she meant it. We did. And so we went up to this private room, and I made sure it fucking locked. I made sure, I'm like, make sure no one can just whatever. So they did it. So we get into this room, and there's like a real fireplace, or was it like a fireplace TV? I don't know. It was something. It was elegant. And this bed that squeaked, that you were afraid you were going to break. But it had a bit of a frame. Luxurious for the Oasis Club, because otherwise you just get those mattresses that are like gym mats, right? So, anyways, this is where I got shocked, Okay, so this is funny. This is why I like recording fresh, because I can't even hide the smile on my face. But the next day, it's like a little muted, or the day after. So,
Because your cheeks
there's
are
nothing that, yeah. Well, Fez, you and Terry watched my videos before, right? Before we even met. You watched
Correct.
my videos, but you also are more familiar with my content, just like Amelia. Like you're not a stranger to it. So there's a video, right, of me talking about how I liked this experience I had, and that every woman I was always talked very admirably about this wanting this, right? This like, oh, this moment, if only a man would take me like this. And so I did this video about it. It did cause some controversy, but that's for another day. But basically, you know, it's a seed planted in 2020, December of 2020. So then this man does the fucking move, like pulls the move, and it's interesting, it's in the same room as the first time. I was in the 4th floor at Oasis the first time, and it was the same song. And I was like, what the fuck? Is this like really happening? And so it was like this multi thing, and it caught me off guard because I had no idea he would have even been familiar with that video because it's so long ago. But it's funny that I didn't think about it, but I didn't. And so when he pulled a move that I had said on my YouTube, it turned me on in a way that, like, I don't know how else to explain it, but it's somebody using a key you've given them, you know, in a secret plant, and they found it, and they're like, I'm gonna do this, you know, for you, and it's like, yeah, you know, how else do you get that? So, anyways, my hands are above my head, and yeah, you open my legs, and you're like fingering or like playing with my clit and like kissing me. Like, it was a good takedown. I would have to say. Why don't you give me your side? Because we'll get to the rest, but like, tell me your side so far, Fez.
So yeah, as you said, I have watched your content prior to Oasis. It's actually one of the reasons why my partner Terry and I actually showed up to Oasis. But yeah, there we are on the 4th floor. We are having fun, and I just say, hey, I want to try something on you that I know that you like. And then I grab your arms, I push you against the wall, and then that happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how did you think it was received?
It was very well received. I could feel your knees kind of trembling.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, everything was great about it.
It was good, and it works, right? That video has now proven out. It is legit. It makes us it throws us kind of off in the sense of we don't have time to think about how does it start, whatever. It's like you're taking the control, you're taking the initiative, and that is very exciting for many women I know. So bravo. One of the many reasons that Fez is highly recommended as a sexual partner. But anyway, so that was just the beginning. You and I, Fez, know that I have a certain obsession with certain men's cocks. I have cock worship in me, in my DNA. And yeah, so it had been about 2 weeks since I had seen your cock, or any cock, actually, since the last DTF. And I got reacquainted, didn't I?
Yes, you did. If I might add, I know what that controversy was after that video, and for the record, there was consent for that move prior to doing it because we were already in a agreed consent environment. If I might say.
I actually like that you brought that up because it's true. We had already decided that we were going to have sex.
Yeah.
And it was just a matter of how you initiated the sex, right? It wasn't like you decided to have sex with me and you threw me against the wall. No. I knew I was fucking you. It was up to you to decide, is it against the wall or is it going to be, you know, casually, like, you know, differently. So that's very good. I'm glad that you addressed the controversy because some men out there really did have a setback, like a feel back about that video and get a little worried about it. And so there's a lot that I have to talk about with that, with consent and stuff. So there is ways of getting consent, knowing you have consent, and having the confidence to pull a move like that, right, Fez?
Yes,
right,
absolutely.
I wasn't gonna be I wasn't gonna be like, you know, upset, and you knew it. And I think that's the whole point: is these moves are meant to be in a consensual dynamic, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Fez has seen me direct a lot of scenes, a lot of gangbangs. So has Terry. And so they have seen me in my dominant energy a lot, right? And so when Fez and I started talking, I'm not always in that energy in sex. Sometimes I want to be, you know, manhandled and like, you know, told what to do. Like sometimes some energies just make me melt into this blissful place of submission. And it's not a true submission because I will stop at any cramp of a jaw or anything. Like I'm still not going to, you know, I'm just saying I've seen what true submission is. And I'm like, I flirt with it, you know? But for me, it is a blissful place that I don't get to go to with most people. What I want to. So for me, it's like exotic, right, in sex. So anyways, when a man puts you against the wall like this and like kisses you and like takes control, there's no question about what energy I'm in. I'm not doming him, right? So it was very comfortable for me to relax knowing he was taking the lead. For me, that was the part of the biggest turn on, was because even me as a dominant woman does not always want to be dominant, right? So it was very fun. Yeah, and then I got to suck that D the way I wanted to, right? Which was slow and sensual at first, and then you kind of decided like when it was time to like to get it to be a bit more aggressive, because you and I both know exactly what kind of blowjob I like and you like, right? So there was no question about that. Pretty sure you effed. I'm not going to be really vulgar, but like you like effed my face for like a while. And not long enough, right? I remember you were about to put a condom on, and I was like, are you like, are you serious?
I'm
And you're like, oh, right? I was a head upside down on the bed. I was like, I'm not done. So I actually really genuinely enjoy sucking dick. Like I really, really get into it, and like it's a trance state kind of for me. It's a beautiful like connection with this thing. Anyway, so I have a lot of fun. Spit, no spit, gagging, doesn't matter. I'm having fun. I like when men are aggressive. I like when they don't get freaked out by sounds. Like I'm just like, it's not my fault, you know. Just motor on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyway, so you were very good at that.
If I might add to that, real quick, with the sounds, at first I was nervous about the sounds last time, but then we agreed to a kind of safe word in a way, even though you couldn't speak. And as long as as long as that safe word wasn't reached, then I knew that we were good.
Unless you wanted me to pinch your leg or something, right?
Yeah,
Pinch your
like
leg or tap it.
pinch my leg hard, right? Like just let me know that,
Yeah.
hey, something's wrong. I need you to stop.
So at any time there was a kill switch for me, and I knew it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's good. Yeah, it's true. At no time did I feel uncomfortable. I had a great time. If anything, I want to be manhandled more. Like I'm telling you, my desires get darker. Sometimes I just want it even more rough. Like I saw really primal sex last night with Jyla Valentine, the couple, and there's something in it that some of us really crave, right? Is that primal state. Anyways, I digress as I check the puddle under my seat. Anyways. As I introduced you,
I think we're all feeling a little tingly listening to the story.
Right? I'm like, oh, it's getting hot.
It's getting hot in here.
Right? So anyways, what I really liked about this sex, particularly with Fez, which is, I'm not looking at you, Fez, just so you know, because I can't. I'm looking at the camera because I'm like, I can't look at his face. But I really liked that as a woman, I did not have to think. I had been moved from position to position without me needing to weigh in, okay? And it felt good. It felt good to be flipped around, to be like moved where you wanted me. It felt good that he knew how to use things available, like a towel to put under me, to harness me basically, to like keep me in a position. So I was having the best time on Fez's dick, and I was making all sorts of noises and stuff. I did not throw up anything. That was a win. I also, I'm not going to lie, I did not eat anything, basically, for like a long time before that event, because I was like, I'm hardcore, and if I want to throw up, I don't care. I just don't want to see my dinner or a purple healthy smoothie that I thought was a good idea in the morning. You know, so like I just think I'd rather be hardcore about sex and just clean the pipes kind of thing. Just like an anal douche, I'm doing it with my tummy. So anyways, I really like blowjobs. I like pushing myself. I want to go deeper. I cannot take his whole dick yet. I'm trying, and it's big, so we're gonna work up to that. I'm pretty sure Jyla can, right?
She takes most of it as well, probably about the same as you.
Yes, she's very, very talented.
Yeah.
So, she also fucked Miss Jyla Valentine last night too, but we'll get to that. Okay, so I was having a fantastic time on your dick. I love that you were giving me like the moans of feedback, because for as somebody who's sucking a dick, like we need a roadmap. Like we need to know, you know, yield or like, you know, whatever, like do something different or keep going. Like, and so I like that. Like I knew the Sensual was okay at first because I was getting feedback. So
Yeah.
that was like, yeah, he's not in a hurry. I don't like to just rush to face fucking. Just like anything else, I want a little bit of like on ramp to, you know, some foreplay kind of thing. So, anyways, I had a fantastic time. Can you tell, how did I do? I mean, you got to fuck my face. I mean, tell the camera how the fuck did I do?
It was amazing. I can't. It's hard to say, like, because. So hold on, let me think for a minute.
Remember the part where you had to lean back to hold the wall?
Yeah, yeah. I was leaning too far back because I wanted you to have more of it, right? Because
Yeah.
you were also pulling me closer, and I didn't want to lean too far forward, too far back, so I just rested on the wall.
Like a C shape, a backward C shape, like
Yeah,
this while you're in my mouth. Yeah.
yeah,
So it was funny. But did I do a good job?
yeah. You did amazing. You took it like a champ, and you wanted more, and
Mm-hmm.
I was amazed. I've never actually had an experience like that before, so that was quite
Really?
nice. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I've never been able to, and I'm sure you know why. A lot of teeth are involved when that happens, and
It is
sometimes
hard, but
it.
Fez, I'm not gonna lie. I lost giving a shit about whether a man hit my teeth when I realized that he's shoving a dick in a tunnel with track.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't want to hit the track, then don't hit the track. It's not like I should take responsibility for where the
Oh
track
no,
is.
not you at all, right? It's not your fault whatsoever. It's just sometimes it hits and it's
Yeah.
not exactly expected, right? And it just whoa, don't like
And
that.
that's like, sometimes the guy could like move us instead of just being like teeth. Like we don't know how to change. We
Yeah,
don't know what's
yeah,
wrong, right? So,
exactly.
yeah. I'm afraid to ask. Did I hit teeth?
No, not at all. No.
Really? And I was
Yeah,
upside down.
yeah. I think the way you were was just perfect for
It
the.
was you flipped me upside down, and like I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to be face fucked nicely. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
If someone wants rough something, they don't want it delivered with a pink bow. I wanted it to be taken almost from me. Just like the hand around the throat was good, like things like this, I like it. You wouldn't necessarily know it from watching you just direct orgies all the time, but like people can be into different things, right?
yeah.
And sometimes I'm just really into intense sex like that. So I like the intensity of it. I like pushing myself. I love dick. I love the feel of it in my throat. It opens my throat chakra.
One thing I've noticed. One thing I've definitely noticed. It's usually the more dominant women that like to be submissive with a certain person, and they when they're submissive, they are completely submissive to a point, if that makes sense.
Okay. So this is a pattern you've noticed is like more
Yes.
dominant are like the ones to be.
Yeah,
Wow.
they seem to want to give up the power every once in a while and just
Yeah.
not care, right? Like as you said, you just did not care. You knew you were just taking it.
It's true, but it's also a very specific, chosen,
Yes,
specific person.
yes.
And that's
It's not just any person.
Yes.
no, never. I would never even flirt with pretending to be submissive to a stranger. Fuck off.
No.
That's how I feel about that. That's I'm
Well,
telling you.
There
I
comes the
greatly
dom.
appreciate that.
There's the dom.
I agree. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I greatly appreciate that. Thank you very much. I take that as a huge compliment.
What I appreciate about that, Fez, is that sometimes there's a man who brings a calm, masculine, dominant energy that isn't disrespectful. Like you've never been disrespectful, and it's those guys we want to like ravage us. You know, it's
Yeah.
like so maybe you're chosen by some of these women because I'm not gonna lie, not a lot of them would meet what I would qualify as somebody I would be submissive to. I might suck their dick well, but it doesn't mean I'm submissive, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so for me, it's like I said, it's exotic. It's exotic when I get to be in subspace. That was the blowjob, and then we moved to sex, and it was fantastic. Now, why don't you go first, Fez, and then I'll go and I'll explain my side after.
Okay, so we had amazing sex. I don't know how to explain it really. Like I put her against the wall, and then I was playing with her clit. She still had her panties on, so I was playing with her clit and just rubbing around, and then I threw her on the bed, and she removed her panties, and it was, I can't remember, it was doggy style, the first position, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in doggy, and I just had to be very slow, and just, I can't even describe how good it felt.
It felt like it was pushing you out at first.
So yes, when I was first pushing it in, it's like there was resistance, right? But that's just your body. It's not like you yourself were resisting.
Yeah.
You're just not used to having that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
And when I got it, as I said, it took a while just to get halfway. We worked together to get it the rest of the way, and as soon as it was all the way, it was amazing.
And I like this one part where you were like, okay, I'm going to put it in slowly all the way so that I didn't have to panic. You weren't going to pound me.
No.
But that would make me feel, am I okay the whole way? Because I wasn't last time. It would hit my cervix a little too much, right?
Yeah.
So some position. So this time, it didn't. And I know that vaginas can adapt. I've seen it. I've adapted to other penises too. So it did not hurt this time, even though the first time there was like a little bit of concern. So it's interesting because that moment where he's like, I'm going to put it all in, I was like, hold it, come on, you know, and like it made it, right? It was fine. So I was like, okay, I can get pounded now. Now this is a part that I'm not gonna lie, I already got the full story because she called me that night after I got here. So she's my number one fan, okay? So she's also like a friend, but she's also my number one fan. So she's like, I want to know the story. So anyways, I said there was this one moment where you were fucking me so intensely, so pound, but you had your hands on me, or you had a towel underneath me, and you had me in such a way where I said I felt weightless.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that, I don't know if that was subspace, it could be, but I felt as though I had to do nothing. I didn't have to wiggle, I didn't have to move towards you, you were just fucking me, and I just had to exist for it. And there's something in my soul that like really was able to feel weightless in that for some reason, like that lightheaded, not like, it's weird, it's maybe it was subspace, but it felt very blissful to be pounded in a good way, to the point where it was it was like in a different realm.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And the pounding caused the bed to move a few feet to the right.
I also screamed, did I not?
Yes, very loudly. I heard a couple people mention something about weird screams coming from the fourth floor. So.
Oh really? I wondered.
Yeah, there were a couple of guys when I went back down. They were like, "What's going on up there?"
And you know what, though? I had multiple orgasms. So you fucked me so well, and like I had screaming orgasms, and then you came, but then you can fuck really fast after you've come, right? And so then he puts his fingers inside of me, and literally I already told this man how to make me come, like by text, so he knows. Don't spend a lot of time on the clit. Like, that's just, you know, that's the gift shop. Go to the fucking real thing, you know? And like that, I want finger, you know, penetration. And so you made me scream orgasm within fucking a minute or two in my vagina, right? It wasn't even that long.
Yeah.
It was almost embarrassing how little work I made you do for that orgasm, okay? But it was just so good. It was what I ordered. It was like my Uber Eats delivery of sex. It was
Yeah.
all the marks. And
Maybe
and
I should. Maybe I should start a new business. Uber Eats for sex.
Gigolo, we like, what would you like to order? The hands above the wall,
Yeah,
okay. You know, like, I'm not gonna lie, there might be something in that.
that's a great idea.
It actually is a great idea. A coaching opportunity, like a male coach, male perspective, right?
Yeah,
But yeah, so the sex itself was phenomenal. I remember at the end, I was in some like acrobatic position, and it was very odd. My leg was like in a very weird space, and I remember just saying to you, "I'm good here for a minute." Like I just couldn't
yeah,
move. I was just like, "I'm just gonna sit for a second, just
yeah,
like."
yeah.
And I
You were tapped out for a good couple minutes, and then we resumed.
that's when he was like, "So are you ready?" I was like, "You motherfucker, you are ready again, aren't you?" Like I was like, the good news is my vagina was fresh. I could take it. It was good. But had he wanted thirds, I would have been like, Terry, like, can you
Yeah,
please?
yeah. You had trouble walking down those stairs on the way back.
Beaming happy after that. We finished up having like the fantastic sex upstairs, and we grabbed our stuff, came down. I'm lightheaded. It was fantastic. Like I had mascara down my face. I felt fantastic. I looked like I had a hanger in my mouth. Like I was just like so big smile. Anyway, so we reunited with our friends. I remember saying to Terry, I was like, "Wow, your husband just made me scream," you know, like, and it was like a way of greeting her back, you know, like I was like, "Thanks for that." So that was lovely, and I'm not gonna lie, once I had my sex and like, you know, I was like fulfilled, and so the rest of the night was gravy, and so then the rest of you all had the rest of your nights. And so this is the part where I want to shift and tell the other stories. So let's go first. We're going to talk about Mr. and Miss Jila Valentine, who are not present on the video chat tonight. They weren't able to make it, but they are regulars at this club, and they go on these DTF nights, and sometimes they like to take lots of men, right? So last night was no different. She came, she took many men, you know, in her mouth and in her everywhere, right? So she was taking, you know, she was doing her job as an eager little slut and having the best fucking time doing it. And her boyfriend was there coaching the scene, running the scene. Now, I was invited as a voyeur, like as somebody to watch, and I was sitting beside Amelia. And she knew I was like, my leg was moving. I'm like, I am itching to fucking say something. Because the director in me, the orchestra director in me, just wanted to help. Like, wanted to be like, she likes, you know, praise or like hold her hair. Like, because I saw some guy put his hands near her head but then hesitate and move back. And I know she wants to be ragdolled. So I'm like, I can't tell him. I can't tell him to ragdoll her. You know? So it bothered me because I felt like I was like watching like my favorite game and I'm like, you missed it. It's right there. Like I was like a, you know, like a backseat like couch coach or ref, right? So it was hard, and I really had to try to continuously shut the fuck up because I had to just be in a different role.
You did say one thing, and then like you stopped yourself. I think it's like her hair or something.
There was that was the one of the moments where I was like, yes, put your hands on her head, because I was like, don't like I could tell the guy didn't know, and I was like, if someone would just fucking tell him, he could do a better job, right, of what she's looking for. And so for me, I was like, put it on her head. Like, I was like yelling from the back, but then I really quickly realized, like, no, stop, like let them do it their way. So I did, and I'm glad I could do that. And then Fez was one of the participants in this scene, right?
Yes, yes, it was.
I'll tell you my version, and then you tell your version.
Absolutely.
Okay? So basically, I'm laying up there, fully sexually satisfied, watching my friend get, you know, gangbanged. My friend Amelia is sitting beside me, and these guys are doing a great job having sex with Miss Jila Valentine, like a fantastic job. But I know that there's an ace in the deck, okay? Like I know that there is a man in the crowd who is going to blow her mind, and that was Fez. And so when it was his turn, they asked like who was hard and ready, and he was. But he wasn't like overly eager and aggressive about it. He was just respectfully like offering. And then I remember like literally like leaning back, being like, yeah, you're like, let's watch this, you know. So, anyways, I had told Miss Jila in advance that I recommended Fez as a sexual partner and that she wouldn't be disappointed because girls talk, whether you like it or not. So, anyway, she was already kind of gotten the good Yelp review. Anyway, so then she doesn't even know who's behind her. She's literally sucking someone else, and Fez comes up and he starts fucking her. And she, like, takes notice because I told him in advance to be rough with her. Like, I coached him a little bit on what she's looking for because that's the fucking advantage, right? Like, you know exactly how to please this woman. And she was pleased. She was making louder sounds. She was, like, saying, holy shit. Like, she was like, who is this guy? Anyways, like, you stood out and you grabbed that towel underneath her and you fucked the shit out of her. And she made, like, all of the kind of sounds you would ever want, right? And I just remember being, like, so proud. Like, it was like, I was like my friend that well, you know? And, Terry, I think you saw from the back, right? You were watching? Yeah. What did you think about watching your husband do such a good job?
I like his ass, so that's what I watch.
Yeah. And you know he's feeling good, right? Like, he's doing a good job, and, like, it's like you see him in his element. Yeah.
But she was making more noise than I've heard her make for it. Like,
I agree.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and it was noticeable.
Yeah.
And then basically you finish, and then it was someone else's turn. And I'll let you tell your side of the story. But I remember after she caught me, and she was like, "Oh yeah," she's like, "Fez," she's like, "This," like she was like A+. Like she gave me that feedback, and I was like, I'm like, Fez is not here to hear this. And I remember I made her do it again in front of you when I found you, because I was like, you have to know the feedback. Feedback is so important, right? And especially not relayed through me, like hear it from her too, you know? So that was good. She definitely gave you the feedback that it was exceptional. And from someone who took a lot of men, I mean, that's a big compliment. All right, Fez, tell us your version of what it was like to walk up in a crowd of men and fuck that girl so well.